So now that we have all these loops, we're going to need to deal with loading them and saving them in a certain way. So I want to go over how we deal with the Walkatron loop library. So in order to save a file, we're going to have these two options here to overwrite or save. If you have the name, if you type in a name of a Walkatron loop that already exists, you're not going to be able to save it until you push the overwrite button, and this will prevent you from accidentally saving something, saving over something that you may want to keep. If you want to create a new loop and start from an old one, just go ahead and go down here, and let's say I'm going to pick Balderdash number 4, and here we have this loop going. And let's speed him up a little bit. Oop. And let's say I want to save a new version of this. All I would do is just change the name of it, and we'll see the save button come up, and I can hit save, and there we have that new version. And you'll see that it shows up also right in here. So picking a new walk cycle will erase all the animation that you have in your bot and replace it with this one. Now every time you update something in here, let's say I have a bunch of these animations happening or being used in the procedural walking system, when you update it here, it's also going to be updated in the procedural walking system. So if you have done an animation in the procedural walking system and you need to tweak a couple of loops, you just come right in here and I'll load this up and I'll do some tweaks to it, and then I'll hit overwrite and save it again. And every time that this loop is called up anywhere in the system, either the crowd system or the procedural walking system, you'll see those changes reflected right away. But you'll have to run those animation cues again. You'll have to run the procedural walking system in order to see that show up. Now something that I just recently added that I really like, well, because this menu gets really long when you have hundreds of walking loops available, is I needed a place to easily access these. So let me move this panel up so we can see it a little better. Actually, that's as far as I can move it up. But down here, you'll see this is the big library. There's a button down here that says size. It's off screen. If I'll press this, you'll see it collapse this, and here I can just open that up again by hitting library. And so here I can go in and just double click on a file, and it brings it up right away. So here's Brad Pitt. That's exactly the way he walks. Here's Karl Rove. That's the way he walks. And here's Bronco Bush. And that's the way he does things. So so this is really nice that you can just double click on something and bring it right up. So that's the Walkatron library. And remember, everything you see here will show up in the loop groups inside of the crowd system, and it'll also show up inside the Walkatron library in the procedural walking system.